Okay, so we're on day 3, December 3rd, day 3. Today's little build is very hard to see. This is Djarin's Naboo Starfighter that he refurbishes during Book of Boba Fett and Mandalorian Season 3 as his new ride after the Razor Crest got blown up. So yeah, that's that. I like the N1 Naboo Starfighters a lot. It's one of my favorite Star Wars ships, but I like them better whenever they're the classic yellow. Figure today, completely unrelated to that. Figure today has a lot to talk about this one. So, I'd already said that I was only trying to collect like certain figures to start off with. There wasn't a whole lot. I was just, filling in gaps that my brother had, and then every now and then, like the main characters type things. Like, I filled in what gaps I could of his. I got the Chewie, got the Darth Vader. But then I started getting like, oh, well, I like this figure, I like this figure, I like this figure of like the main characters. There wasn't a whole lot back in those late 90s, prequels Star Wars days. There was comics and things like that, but I didn't read that. But as far as like talking points, there was not a whole lot to talk about. So you would talk about anything. Like, for instance, go back and watch the original prequels, or not the original prequels, the original trilogy, and look at people's sleeves. Everyone has long sleeves or no sleeves. There's no short sleeve people in the original trilogy. Just long sleeves and short sleeves, and that's it. No in between. The closest you get is Han Solo with his little, like they end here, but that's still, long sleeve. So that's the kind of conversations we would have about Star Wars. That's our observations, because eventually you run out of things to talk about. The other thing is a problem with action figures in general. Lack of girls. Jurassic Park kind of famously only did a figure of Ellie. There was no Lex figure, not until like 2021, I think. It just took a very long time because these toy companies had this thought that boys don't want to play with girl toys. And, okay, girl toys, maybe, but boys or kids in general want to play with the characters in their shows or in their movies. Like, April O'Neil was a hard as hell figure to find, but, people wanted April O'Neil. She was like the Turtles' best friend. You had to have her for your adventures. Leia, kind of the same thing. But they did make a Leia figure, and it was, I don't have that one. It's terrible. But I did get eventual other Leia figures, and one of the ones I'm going to talk about today is a Leia figure I was excited to get. Not when they first came out, but in wonderful days of clearance, whenever Toys R Us would clearance so many things. You get so many toys for so cheap. It was a wonderful time. And Kenner liked doing like deluxe packs where it was a figure and a vehicle. And so this one I'm going to show is Leia from Endor on her speeder bike. Now, speeder bike, growing up until I got this toy, I did not know that's what they were called. I grew up thinking they were called wreck speeders because my brother always called them wreck speeders because this is what they do. They wreck. Like, that's their action feature. And that's their thing. They wreck. And also, the one time they referred to in the movie, Luke refers to them as wrecked speeders. So I guess that's why he thought they were called wreck speeders. So yeah, it's a little bit of that today. And also it was very important for me to get these female characters because they weren't, oh, it's the girls. It's the other characters in the story. We need them for the story. But specifically the reason I wanted to point out this Leia figure, and what I said earlier, is in those conversations that you would have just about the minutia of Star Wars that took up so much of the 90s. One time, me and my sister were watching Return of the Jedi. She was like 8, and she excitedly pointed at the screen and went, "Short sleeves!" The only character in the original trilogy to have short sleeves is this Leia. And I don't know why that's important, but I decided it is. Bye.